Good evening. It's me, Steve Garrett. I didn't even comb my hair before I started here, so bear with me. But I just want to talk tonight about a question that I have, and that is, how much time do we have? Good question, eh? How much time does any of us have? We make plans, we set goals, we build our little kingdoms, one piece at a time. The hope is always that we'll be able to retire in time to enjoy the fruit of our labor before our bodies give out on us. But as a believer in an afterlife, I think I have tricked myself sometimes into the idea that I have lots of time, because I somehow relate all that I'm doing here in this plane, in this dimension, and this life to being part of that forever world that I'm destined to inhabit. So what happens is, in eternity has in a sense already begun for me. But no matter if I'm right or wrong about the eternal status of my future, the reality is this: this life only lasts a few decades at the most, and then whatever's next. So I often ponder how I should approach my time here in this earth suit, this tabernacle of flesh. Should I deny myself the pleasures of my senses for the treasures of my spirit? Should I cloister myself away from the bright beacons of success and prosperity? Or should I robustly charge forth, expecting my return on investment to be monumental due to the generous nature of the law of compensation, or the biblical note of pressed down, shaken together, and running over? I've leaned both ways at different times in my life. My first discovery was that I learned fairly quickly that plodding away at a job, in addition to never giving me enough time for my family, was never going to get me to a place of freedom anytime soon. The carrot of a pension after 30 years to complement my gold watch and my walking papers I was never able to latch itself into my brain in any permanent way. I chose instead to labor over the years at things I enjoyed for the most part. Now, as I look back over the working life of almost 40 years, I can see that it was mainly my own thinking that kept me from moving on to higher levels in every place that I ever was employed. The two times in my life that I felt of breaking out of that bondage was when I owned my own businesses, twice. During those times was when I felt the most challenged and the most engaged, the most alive, and the closest to my God. I think it was a case of stay close with Him or die. No paycheck was promised without production on my part. But again, the time element continued to plague me. If I took time away from my business to spend with my family, my income would almost always dip correspondingly. I had to be there, priming the pump, working the levers, creating the flow. Without the time spent, the money always seemed destined to disappear. But in my last discovery, in my stretch run here, how much time do I have left to use all the wisdom and the knowledge and the lessons I've accumulated over the past 4 decades? That's the question. I'm no longer willing to wait. I'm no longer satisfied to be lulled to sleep with the promise of security, social security or otherwise. I have once again come to grips with the truth that whatever I want from life, I can have if I'm willing to work for it. I have to close out the cacophony of liars that tell me I'm too old, too late, too crazy to make any money on the internet. Everything is a scam, while the number of successful online entrepreneurs continues to rise daily. Let's face it, the world is changing. Get it? The world is changing. And the internet and digital business is the face of the future. Like it or not, that's what I see. So I choose to embrace the challenge. I demand of myself to learn the skills necessary to compete in this global marketplace, to make my mark, stake my claim, to raise my voice, and help as many people as I can along the way. To raise the standard of honesty, integrity, compassion for others that has long been absent from the business world. Mark my words. Watch the wind unfurl my sails. Jump on board if you like. There's plenty of room for a large crew. Or join the scoffers on the beach who shake their heads and try to convince me that the ocean I'm about to explore doesn't even exist. I will return with spices from the east, and I have not fear sailing over the edge. I will dare to challenge the waves and the wind. Last call for boarders. Join now. Not sure when I'll be back this way, but know that when I return, it will be as a different person. For in addition to the spoils of prosperity, I'm investing in my soul and my spirit on this journey as well. It's tantamount to my success that my whole being be enlarged, to receive the blessings, and to become the blessing to others that my destiny calls me to be. Grace and peace. Have a great night.